Well, it's a fun start to the morning as Tesla is up and going higher. So we'll see whether that holds or not. No particular reason, I don't think. But what does Tesla need in the weeks ahead to move it back up towards the 300 or more where it actually belongs? It isn't the things on Dan Ives' list the other day, I can tell you that. But if you missed our analysis of that list, check out Good News Friday with Larry Goldberg last a few days ago. Now, we're going to get into the news and we're going to talk about Tesla Energy and the Fed in a few minutes. But I just think this might be what's more on your mind. What is it going to take to get Tesla going? Well, these following list is not a catalyst. These aren't catalyst items, but rather these are things that will cause the market to think that Tesla deserves a higher average selling estimated share price for 2024 and 2025 than they're currently planning for, and reasons to expect higher and faster growth than the crazy low growth that is currently expected. So one would be some good news on the ramp of Cybertruck. Also news on take rates as the standard models start getting invitations. So right now we only have the very expensive ones. When that is all played out, then we'll get into the basic vehicles. What will the take rates look like? Will they report the take rates? And also, how many vehicles are actually being made every day? Is the ramp looking like it's on the right course? Number two, the lengthening of wait times anywhere in the world, but especially for the Model Y in the US. If sales are good enough to add some shifts down in Austin, that would be a major marker. But even if the Model 3 wait times start to stretch out here or in China, Model Y anywhere, if those wait times start to stretch out, that would be a major situation that would cause the stock to go up. Number three, some ways to bring clarity to the $3 billion in profits coming through energy this year. No one is planning for that. We'll talk more about that down below and more about that tonight on my show with Larry Goldberg. Number four, some ways to bring clarity to the IRA money. That money is coming and nobody's talking about it. It's going to be $2.2 billion at least this year. And that would be good to know and also how the 4680 coming, because that is tied into it. Those are two things. If we get information, some confirmation, we can start to begin to count that into the dollars, which nobody's doing. I mean, zero. Nobody is doing that. Five, Q1 and Q2 earnings showing cost of goods continuing to drop in addition to the IRA savings. So the IRA savings would be part of cost of goods, but Jeff Lutz and others have said 2% per quarter is not an unreasonable amount to see Tesla's costs coming down over the next months, over the entire year. Number six, more breakthrough evidence on Optimus or full self-driving. It will take serious evidence, not hopium. I'm looking for really big evidence, like robots doing work in the workplace, literally on the line. Number seven, a 550,000 shipped in Q2 or close. If we get 495 or 485, not going to move the markets. We're going to need to get over 500,000. 550,000 would be a number because that would suggest over 2.2 million for the year. Number eight, no price cutting. No price cutting at all. Minor $500 or something, but no price cutting in the first quarter would help the stock to go up. Number nine, dropping interest rates. If the Fed makes a decision to actually drop the interest rates, not going to happen probably this Wednesday, maybe on March, I think it's March 1st is the next time. We need to have those interest rates coming down. That would help Tesla stock. Number 10, overall good climate for car purchases. If there's an indication that all cars are doing well, that should indicate that Tesla will do as well, will do well also. All right. In support of some of what I just said, this from Gary Black. Gary Black says the other day, by the way, that's at Gary Black 00. He says the Tesla PE has fallen from 63 to 55 as investors have lost confidence in the Tesla long-term growth prospect. While retail investors denigrate institutions' abilities to judge Tesla, institutions have been correct in their projections that Tesla, its price elasticity would be close to zero, hence the significant EPS and price earnings reductions. Of course, if institutional investors think that Tesla has zero price elasticity or that the 2023 year proved that in the unwinding of the supply chain boom bust situation that we went through in 2023, I suggest they head back to business 101. That's pure nonsense. This is Randy Kerr. First of all, I need you to support the channel. We are doing so great in January. We're like way over double last year's numbers. And you know that's my goal for this year is to be double on everything. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to continue all year unless you guys get just helping me out a little bit here and there. So could you hit like? That's just takes a second. Just hit like every time you come on. Hit that like button and then hit subscribe. If you haven't already done it, I don't understand why. Hit the notify button because you know you want to hear from Brian White later today. And the Larry Goldberg show that we're going to do tonight we're going to include that energy issue. That's going to be an amazing show. So please hit notify. The other two things you can do is to buy some Cybertruck bottle openers. They're cool. They're fun. They're great to give away as gifts. Oh my gosh, you should be buying a bunch of those. And then, of course, Patreon. You guys wanted the $3 level. I gave you the $3 level. You want to come in at that level? Fine. Or you can come at the $5 or $10 level and get some free goodies at the same time. All right, let's get right back into the news. Okay, from Gary, also Gary Black again. I have looked through the Tesla 2023 10K. It was filed already this morning. Nothing jumps out as unusual. The media is making much out of the 2024 expected Tesla CapEx of $10 billion compared to last year's $8.9 billion, but that's right in line with what they should be doing. In fact, that's really lean compared to some other like Apple and others. What they spend on CapEx, what they spend, I mean, it's just lean and mean. Tesla forecast for 8 to 10 CapEx for 2025-26 is low in my estimates. Gary Black actually think it'll be more like 12 to 15 billion. I don't think that's the case at all. I think if they say it's going to be 10 billion, that's what they're expecting to spend. All right, now here's the biggie for the morning actually. Caught it right at the end before we came on. This is at CERN Basher. If you're not following CERN Basher, you should be following him. Tesla Energy accelerating. Digging into the growth in Tesla Energy, it appears to be even stronger than reported. Reported revenue in 2023 is an increase of 54%, but indicative revenue, he's made that up. He made up that term, he says, rose 125%. So Larry Goldberg and I are going to do that deep dive tonight, probably around 5 o'clock California time. I'm hoping this might make up for no Monday Night Football. Possibly. No? Okay. All right. Anyway, massive crowds getting around the Cybertruck in 12 different locations throughout China. This is according to at Tesla Economics or Tesla. Yeah. No economics. Tesla Economics on X. He says China is going crazy for the Cybertruck. Tesla absolutely needs to find a way to get through all the regulations in order to sell it there, let alone even build it right there in the heart of Giga Shanghai, because it's clear they really want it. And I would say finding a way to build the vehicle in China can't be that hard. I mean, Elon made a deal about this the other day, but come on, what's it going to take? In the meantime, the halo effect has got to be working great in China. Likely this is going to sell some Ys and some 3s as thousands and thousands and thousands of folks are just coming in and taking pictures and checking out the Cybertruck. My biggest question this month, my number one question, and it's echoed by Yahoo. So let's let Yahoo say it instead of me. What is even more encouraging for central bankers is that the core PC inflation rate fell to 1.5 on a 3-month annualized basis. Its lowest since late 2020. On a 6-month basis, it was 1.9 for the second month in a row. On a 6-month basis, 1.9. Let that sink in. Both of these marks are below the Fed's 2% target. I'm going to add this in. And Chairman Powell said he looks at that 6-month number. The question now is whether that's enough data to justify a cut in rates that aligns with the expectations of investors who began the year predicting that the loosening would start in March. Should start this Wednesday. Probably won't, but it should. From the Kobeissi letter, China's holdings in U.S. treasuries continue to move in a straight line lower. Their holdings of U.S. Treasuries have declined by $300 billion since 2021. They currently hold just under $800 billion. So that drop of $300 billion was like a 25% drop of U.S. Treasuries, maybe a little more than 25%, maybe closer to 30. Levels not seen since 2009. Of course, their economy is in the tank. As interest rates are peaking, the foreign private sector has been also slowing purchases. So around the world, people are out of U.S. Treasuries. Now, what does that say to you? That says that we're in a trough and that there's a real opportunity, a real buying opportunity that is not investment advice. Okay. Tuesday, tomorrow, will be a huge day for earnings with Microsoft, Google's parent Alphabet, Pfizer, General Motors, Starbucks reporting tomorrow. There'll be particular focus on how artificial intelligence technology is affecting Microsoft and Alphabet's earnings. Microsoft might be getting close to being number one or moving in that direction. So where are the markets right now? Let's take a quick look. We have got Tesla. See, it didn't hold up. We were up 3. Now we're up $1.14. The Dow is up 20. The NASDAQ is up 24. The S&P is up 4. And we have the rest of the Magnificent Seven are up, but in most cases barely. Apple is actually down. Meta is up nicely. Microsoft is up. NVIDIA, all three up very nicely, with Tesla now up $1.13. Let's do some percentages on that. We have the Dow up 0.06, NASDAQ up 0.15, the S&P up 0.08, and Tesla up 0.62, running ahead of the indices. And then we have got, and it was way up earlier. Okay, and now all of the ARK, I mean, the Cathy Woods are now all down, which would suggest that the bond market, that usually what we see here is that means that the bonds are up, the yields are up, and I don't think that's the case. So let's go take a look. Maybe things have changed radically since I last looked. We have got the bonds. No, see, the Cathy Woods should be up this morning. What's going on? Anyway, the 10-year is the yields are down 0.46. The 2-year, the yields are down 0.8 basis points. I'm sorry. The 10-year is 4.6 basis points down. That means there's a rally taking place in the bond market. And in fact, it's pretty much across all of them, even the short-termers, except for the 2-month, are actually yields down, bonds up this morning. All right, let's take a look at oil. Last time I looked was down. Everything just closed down on me here, so sorry. Get to see, okay. What's going on with the internet this morning? All right, we've got bonds. We did that. Oil. Okay, we've got oil. Yes, down $1.30. Brent also down $1.32. Natural gas down 20 cents. That's 0.756 down on natural gas. Oil down 1.65. So what we're looking at here is yeah, the Red Sea thing, even the cold snap in the United States, nothing is keeping these oil prices buoyed. Oil is down to 76. I'm talking about Texas Intermediate. Brent 82. It's headed down. There you go. We have got gold up a little bit. 2024 pretty much in very tight range recently, not bouncing around much at all. You got copper down a tad. I mean, call it even. You've got the dollar sitting pretty even as well. You've got the Bitcoin even as well. Boy, nothing's moving. Everything's even. Even the markets are pretty even this morning. As we just pointed out a minute ago, everything is sitting pretty flat, waiting for those earnings tomorrow, for the Fed on Wednesday, and for job numbers on Friday. An awful lot to digest this week. So I did a 2024 earnings estimate yesterday. It had 4 levels of potential earnings, from a super bear case that shows Troy test-like shipments of 2,070,000 and no increase in margins. And then I went all the way to a bull case, and that shows my current estimate of 2.35 million, but with the average selling price going down in order to move that many vehicles, keeping margins firm as costs drop. I did all 4 of these variations. I think you'll find it interesting, and I'll put a card up for that so you can go back and check it out if you didn't already do that. Now, again, hit like, subscribe, and notify. Please buy Cybertruck bottle openers and whatnot. But I did want to tell you one last thing this morning. You know, I get a lot of weird phone calls. Yeah, lots of weird phone calls, but this might be the weirdest ever. I had somebody call the other day and they sneezed and then they hung up. And then the phone rang again and they sneezed and they hung up. You know, I hate cold calls. Do you want this to be a regular end to my show? Did you get a chuckle? I don't know. I had to do that. That's the funniest joke I've heard in weeks. All right. It's been great talking to you.